Otro vídeo más. Estoy reventado. El anterior vídeo se dedicaba a este combate y sigo sin haberme lo terminado. Fue 1 hora de vídeo. Y diréis, ¿es una línea? No, ¿qué va? ¿Una línea aquí? Estoy en el puto tutorial. Esta mierda. Y porque te va a publicar, ¿eh? No puede ser que en el primer combate de este vídeo me la vaya a matar. No sabía, era imposible.
Here to make as many variants as I possibly can, and I've also collected a lot more cowboy-related minifigures. Love that. So you already know it's time to make my own Sheriff Deadpool variant, without spending $2,000, of course. First, I grabbed one Deadpool head and took this Lone Ranger-themed minifigure for the torso and bandana. Unfortunately, the arms had to go and be replaced by the arms from this Ninjago Stone Scout. While the legs look pretty solid as is, I wanted to shake it up and grab this hidden side minifigure with boots and a loaded gun belt.
Sir, I am Hercules, mother. Bro. ¿Veis que es una manta sin luces de verdad?
If you drank a beer, then started
6, 7, 8, and 1, 2. You're a little late on that counts video. 6.
Change your mind.
¿Cómo? ¿Cómo la mató? ¿Cómo? Muy en serio. ¿Cómo la mató?
Change your mind. Like a girl changes colors.
¿Cómo conseguir la máscara blanca del domingo? Por favor, que sea tampoco estoy muy lejos. ¿El domingo? Es increíble que pone del domingo porque me entiende así esta mierda.
Continuando con los videos de las mejores recompensas de quest en Elden Ring, hay una quest en especial que es muy larga y tiene una de las mejores recompensas, pero también es de las más tristes y desgarradoras. Las recompensas de las que hablaremos hoy será la prótesis de Millicent y la insignia de ala alada podrida. Ambas recompensas de la quest de Millicent. La trágica quest de Millicent no podría comenzar de otra manera que haciendo caso a un calvo. Técnicamente Gaudi siempre trae capucha, pero seamos honestos, debe ser calvo. Él te pedirá que recuperes una aguja de oro para así repararla y... Ya vienen hacia aquí. No hay problema. Voy a...
Hace unos días me dejaron en los comentarios la siguiente pregunta: ¿cómo se puede conseguir la máscara blanca? Y en este video te voy a responder a esta pregunta, pero antes, bienvenidos jugadores, yo soy Jixa y hoy vas a conseguir la máscara blanca. Hoy te indicaré la ubicación exacta donde conseguirla, pero ojo, para poder conseguirla tendremos que llegar a una ubicación. De hecho, la ubicación perfecta para poder encontrar la zona donde aparece este NPC que nos otorgará esta máscara es la misma que te enseñé cómo farmear muchas runas. Te voy a dejar el video en la descripción porque antes tienes que pasar por ahí para poder llegar a esa zona. Si en el caso de que ya estás en esa zona, solamente debes hacer lo siguiente: la zona donde se encuentra el NPC o este dedo sangriento que los invadirá y tendrán que vencerlo para poder obtener la máscara blanca y todo el conjunto que este le otorga, se encuentra específicamente en el río Sofra, que es el segundo mapa en el ELDEN RING, específicamente en la gracia carretera de cornisa cercana al palacio. Desde aquí les dejo la ruta a seguir.
How do people get so many runes in Elden Ring so early? Well, it's easy. All you have to do is use either a bleed or a frostbite weapon. The easiest way to do this is to pick up the Uchigatana, or just start with the samurai class. You can also pick up the Ice Rain Hatchet or the Hoarfrost Stump Ash of War, and then be sure to buy the torch from the merchant Kale. Ride over to Grail, the lazy dragon Caled in front of Fort Ferrith, and just start attacking it. Occasionally, the dragon will bleed and lose a massive amount of health. If you instead choose to use the frostbite method, be sure to hit the dragon with the torch so you can reset the frostbite quicker. As soon as the dragon dies, ride as fast as you can to the grace nearby, and sit down. If you were fast enough, you will get the runes from Grail, but Grail will still be alive so you can do it again. Do this every time you ask yourself, oh dude.
Esto ya me acuerdo. Esto ya lo hice en el pasado. Nada. ¿Por qué es tan fuerte? Cago en la puta.
Hey, I heard the news. Rest in peace.
Ya llega la nueva temporada de Fortnite. Va a llevar 20 oportunidades más. O sea, que son muchas, pero se las va a dar. No sé qué me pasa.
¿Qué sonido hace? ¿Ves este dinosaurio de aquí? ¿Y este? ¿Y este otro? ¿Qué veis que pasa? Que tienen la misma postura. El cuello arqueado hacia atrás, la cola doblada. Pero, ¿por qué? No parece precisamente una postura muy cómoda. Eso sí, seguro que es que la que tú cuando juegas al LOL, ¿verdad? ¿Viciado? Estos animales han fosilizado así, y no es una coincidencia. A esto se le conoce como postura opistotónica. Y durante mucho tiempo fue tema de debate en la comunidad científica. Primero se pensaba que las corrientes de agua arrastraban los cuerpos de tal forma que se quedaban así, o que los dinosaurios al morir, perdón, al desvivir, tenían una enfermedad en el sistema nervioso que hacía que contrajeran los músculos de forma involuntaria. Pero en realidad no es eso. Y es que para que haya fosilización tiene que haber antes agua. Y los cuerpos de estos dinosaurios tenían que ser sumergidos para ser cubiertos por una capa de sedimento. Entonces, cuando se pudren los músculos en el agua, los ligamentos que hay en las vértebras tiran de la cabeza y de la cola, provocando esta postura opistotónica. Así que, ya lo sabes. ¿Ves este?
Va a ser. ¿Cómo matar al dragón gigante que da mucha pasta en el Elden Ring? Joder, la han pillado, ¿eh? Son unos genios.
Frescos. Gran fuente de Faru. Muy cerquita del ya truco de conseguir 45.000 almas en 30 segundos, pues ahora va...
Most of the main characters in Hamilton have a mood.
Uno de los puntos de interés más visitados por los hindúes.
Que la que mi gente lista un videito aquí, un glitch de Runa.
Tío, ¿dónde está? ¿Dónde está la iglesia donde...
¿Ves este dinosaurio?
Three starter classes in Elden Ring, and next we got a prisoner. It's amazing.
Visualización enigma del inicio de la manera más fácil y con el que podrás destrozar a los jefes.
Esta es la build de Río. Esta build paso a paso come. Esta build es el verdadera talismán.
If you want to farm 6,198,000 runes per hour, here is the best rune farming method in Elden Ring and how to get there. This farm method works both online or offline, and you can do it solo. It's also still working after all the patches and downloadable content which has been added to the game. But since you can easily mess this up, here's a full step-by-step walkthrough
and farming guide so you don't waste your time. But before you watch this video, just listen to me for the next 30 seconds so you know if this video is right for you. Because while this is regarded as the best rune farm in Elden Ring, it actually isn't the easiest early rune farm location that you could do at level 1 as a new player. There's actually another farming method where you can farm this dragon repeatedly for over 1 million runes. This can be done at level 1 and you don't need to kill anything to get there. So if you are a new player or you're starting a new character, I'd actually recommend that you first follow that guide, which I've linked in the description, then come back and watch this guide. If you're a new or returning player who wants to farm millions of runes in Elden Ring right at the start of the game to become extremely overpowered without even killing any bosses, these are going to be the best free rune farming methods that you can reach in just 15 minutes after starting the game. Now you can do this at any point in the game, but starting out we're going to be picking the Deprived class. Compared to the other classes, this one starts at level 1 with the best base stats in the entire game. This means that if later on you want to swap your character build from a two-handed strength warrior to a mage, your stats will already be ready to do that. And don't worry, even if you're a new player, you won't actually need to fight anything for this whole video. But I will warn you that by the time you're done following this rune farming guide, you might find the starting bosses and early areas of the game too easy. But it's up to you how you play the game. I'm assuming that you've just started the game and you've just finished the tutorial boss and prologue. If you already know where you're going, you can just skip ahead to further in the video. But very early on, you're going to arrive in the open world of Limgrave. The first step resting point is right in front of us. Let's go ahead and activate that. We're just here on the map now. And then if we actually head northwest to the church you can see directly off the cliff in front of us, we can unlock the next site of grace. Now, I'm playing the video at a faster speed here. If this is going too fast for you, just use the YouTube settings to play it at a slower speed. And then it'll be easier for you to follow along. And we're going to activate this next site of grace. And then after we can head through the broken wall, out towards the forest in the distance to the north. And we're just going to carry on following this path through the forest. Just continue along the path until you reach the other side of it. And you'll see some ruins down the hill below in front of you. You just head to the left side, we're going to avoid these ruins, and you'll see right at the foot of the massive gatehouse in front of us, there's another site of grace. We're going to want to go and rest at this location because this is where we unlock our mounts. And also a new weapon that we'll need later on in the video. And Melina will appear to us and we're going to accept her reward. Now if you press the start button and you navigate to the right, you can hotkey your mount inside your pouch slot. The next place we need to go is along the road to the ruin. Next, if we mount up and we go along the road into the gatehouse ruins, you can find a map fragment just here on the ground. And then if you continue down the path and go left, you'll find a black carriage. Here, if you actually hop off your mount, you can break this guard's back, and then we can loot the chest that he was guarding. Inside this chest, we're going to find the flail weapon, which we can't actually equip yet, but we will need it later. Now, if we look on our map again, we can see that we're right here, just to the northeast from the gatehouse ruins. We now need to travel east all the way along this path and across the bridge. And then we're going to take the path to the north and just keep following it into the fog to the next location. You can just follow where I'm going in real time now.
Lo sabía.
You there. Could you
Could you help us out, Chloe? What would you go and do that for? Oh, yes, Uncle. Tony, you were just breaking. Thank you. I was pushed out and I didn't.
Along this path away from the ruins. And I've heard quite a few people are struggling with the Elden Ring DLC, so I will be making a very easy to follow early build guide that literally deletes all of the bosses in the base game, and you'll find the DLC a lot easier to handle. So now we're going to head over the bridge and we're going to take the dirt track to the left here. And now we can just follow this road all the way along, ignoring all of the enemies on it. Some of them will try to shoot you with their arrows, but you'll be fine. There will be some enemies hiding underneath this bridge, so I recommend just to the north and just keep following it into the fog to the next location. You can just follow where I'm going in real time now along this path away from the ruins. And I've heard quite a few people are struggling with the Elden Ring DLC, so I will be making a very easy to follow early build guide that literally deletes all of the bosses in the base game, and you'll find the DLC a lot easier to handle. So now we're going to head over the bridge and we're going to take the dirt track.
Espera. Creo. No, es después. Así que acabo de hacer efectivamente eso para nada. Of course.
And take the dirt track to the left here. And now we can just follow this road all the way along, ignoring all of the enemies on it. Some of them will try to shoot you with their arrows, but you'll be fine. There will be some enemies hiding underneath this bridge, so I recommend just going to the right and around the ruin here, and then rejoining the path on the other side. Eventually we're going to reach the end of the road, and we're going to arrive at the
Tengo una nariz fatal.
Third Church of Marika. So come in the door here and we can unlock the next resting point of grace. Now if you want to find the map fragment here, there is a guide in the description below. But now from this resting point of grace, we're going to go behind the broken wall just to the right here and just head through the bushes, and then you can hop over these rocks and you'll see there's a lake behind the church here. Just to your right, through these next bushes, you'll see a little wisp of light, and this is actually the location of a hidden teleporter, which leads us through a massive shortcut into an endgame area of Dragon Barrow. But don't worry, we're not going to need to fight anything there. So now you've arrived, just run through this enemy's legs, and then we can mount up and just head onwards down the hill. At the bottom of this hill, you eventually come to a stone bridge, which you can see in the distance. There's so many checkpoints in this game, it's probably one of the reasons why it's considered one of the easier Souls games. So after you've activated that, you can head across the bridge. And don't be worried about this massive dragon. I call him Harry the Friendly Dragon because he never attacks us. You can just run right past him. As long as you're on your mount, he won't catch up with you. And then when we get to the other side of the bridge here, we're going to bear to the left. That's going to be your next landmark that you're heading to. And if you look off the cliff here, you'll see there's an updraft of wind. Now, if you jump off the cliff and land where that updraft is, you won't take any fall damage. So after you've done that, just turn back around and go between the cliff and the tower. And you'll see there's another site of grace right in front of you here. So now we're going to rest.
Vale. Creo que le he pillado. Pensé que es una estatua. Es un enemigo. Vale, no pensé que llegara tan lejos su ataque. The world won't be the same. Of course, I was doing my song. Yeah, but it'll be nice.
This is a full walkthrough on how to obtain the Golden Scarab Talisman in Elden Ring. This talisman can be equipped to boost your rune gain by 20% permanently, so long as you have it equipped. So the earlier you get it, the more benefit you'll get. It's going to make farming runes so much faster, but it will require you to defeat a boss in order to obtain it. However, the boss is very weak to lightning and fire, so it can be cheesed, as I'll explain later in the video. But now let me show you how to get to the boss's location really easily. And if you don't have the map unlocked, check out my other guide linked below. So starting from the first step where you start the game, you're going to want to come north up this path here to the Gatefront Ruins, and then head directly east, across this bridge, and then at the fork in the road, go north and follow this path all the way up to the third church of Marika, located here on the map. Just where these mountains are, you'll be able to head up the cliff by using the wind to jump up the cliff face until you reach this path just here. Once you're on this path, you can just head all the way around here and then head south on the path until you get to the smoldering wall resting spot of Grace, which is just under this talisman.
Bueno, voy a comprobar qué significa que tiene la... O sea, no... ¿Cómo quitarme primero lo de la lista polada? Lo voy a llamar Friendly Dragon porque dice que no lanza ataques cuando pases por el puente y que no te alcanzará por mucho que... Sí, la verdad es verdad. Creo que ya es por donde manda esto.
Telescope icon.
Picante, vuelve la salsa sriracha y de los creadores del Spicy Whopper llega el Spicy Long Chicken, solo en Burger King.
Here to unlock it, and this is where our first farming method is actually located, and it is a lot slower than the next one I'm going to show you, but it is still worth knowing about because we do need to level up a couple of times, and this is a really quick way of doing so. So just head down the hill towards the underside of the bridge, and if you actually look behind you, a stone boulder is going to appear out of nowhere, and suddenly it's going to start rolling towards you. So you want to dodge to the side here so that the boulder will fall off the cliff in front of you. And when that boulder is destroyed, it's going to give 1,950 start rolling towards you. So you want to dodge to the side here so that the boulder will
¿Dónde está?
lower than the next one I'm going to show you, but it is still worth knowing about because we do need to level up a couple of times, and this is a really quick way of doing so. So just head down the hill towards the underside of the bridge, and if you actually look behind you, a stone boulder is going to appear out of nowhere, and suddenly it's going to start rolling towards you. So you want to dodge to the side here so that the boulder will fall off the cliff in front of you. And when that boulder is destroyed, it's going to give you 1,952 runes for doing literally nothing. So if you head back up the hill and then just go and rest again, that boulder will respawn and you can just repeatedly farm this location over and over again. And I timed myself just running there, dodging to the right-hand side.
Oh, bueno. No, no lo he matado. The world wanna be the same. Me, fuck, me, I trust me, I love me. I'm the down for the shot. And that's what you haven't done. Just you wait. Alexander Hamilton. Vamos a hacer esto hasta llegar a, no sé, 80.000. Todos won't be the same. Joder, doble kill. Qué bien, ¿no? O sea, es que vas a hacer hasta 20.000 mejor y así no me deja. Mira, es más, vamos a dejarlo. Mi pereza me mata, ¿vale? Lo siento, es que son las 3 de la mañana y no estoy para pues, seguir.
Watching to the right hand side so the boulder always falls off the cliff, and then obviously sprinting back again. So every 25 seconds you're going to be making 1,952 runes. It's going to give you 281,000 runes per hour. But do not sit here and farm it for an hour, it's going to be a massive waste of your time. And so instead there is a much faster method, which is right next to this one. But before you go there, just do this a few times so you can level up your dexterity to level 13. And then if you have any more runes left over, I recommend just smashing them all into endurance so you have additional stamina. It's going to make the next farming method even faster. So what we're going to do now is from this site of grace is we're going to turn around and we're going to head back to that updraft. And we're just going to jump inside of it so we can get back onto the cliff edge. If you look around, you'll see a massive, really, really big tree off there in the distance. Going to run towards that next. So once you reach the tree, come around its base and you'll find another updraft that you can jump in to access the cliffs above. And once we're on top, we're going to be at Fort Farith, where we can pick up the Radagon Sorcerer, which is a talisman that boosts our stats while we have it equipped. So rest outside at this side of grace, and now we can go ahead and enter the fortress. It's easy enough to run through, just go inside and then head to the left, just around the wooden wall here, avoiding the bats that are going to try and poison you. Head through the dark room to the brightly lit door. Talisman that boosts our stats while we have it equipped. So rest outside at this side of grace, and now we can go ahead and enter the fortress.
Ah, no tengo preguntas sobre este sitio.
It's easy enough to run through, just go inside and then head to the left, just around the wooden wall here, avoiding the bats that are going to try and poison you. Head through the dark room to the brightly lit door and then get yourself up that ladder to the top of the tower. Once you're on top, you can loot the area, but I'm just going to drop down onto the roof below. Make sure you jump, otherwise you can fall down and crack in the middle. Then we're going to run past this first hole, we're going to ignore the night summon here, and then we're going to head around to the hole at the back here, where you can drop in and then turn around. And if you go right and smash through this wooden wall just to the side here, you can then run and jump across. And then once you're across, if you walk around... So once you reach the tree, come around its base and you'll find another updraft that you can jump in to access the cliffs above. And once we're on top, we're going to be at Fort Farith, where we can pick up the Radagon Sorcerer, which is a talisman that boosts our stats while we have it equipped. So rest outside at this side of grace, and now we can go ahead and enter the fortress. It's easy enough to run through, just go inside and then head to the left, just around the wooden wall here, avoiding the bats that are going to try and poison you. Head through the dark room to the brightly lit door and then get yourself up that ladder to the top of the tower.
Ahí es caer ahí. Vale. Vosotros dejadme con mis problemas mentales, ¿vale? Es que no hay... Ese ala no la tiene levantada, obviamente. Pero bueno.
Now, once you're on top, you can loot the area, but I'm just going to drop down onto the roof below. Make sure you jump, otherwise you can fall down the crack in the middle. Then we're going to run past this first hole. We're going to ignore the nice summon here, and then we're going to head around to the hole at the back here, where you can drop in and then turn around. And if you go right and smash through this wooden wall just to the side here, you can then run and jump across. And then once you're across, if you walk around this next wooden wall, you're going to find some rats on the other side.
No entendí lo que ha pasado. Izquierda.
Turn around, and if you go right and smash through this wooden wall just to the side here, you can then run and jump across. And then once you're across, if you walk around this next wooden wall, you're going to find some rats on the other side. So make sure you have that dodge roll prep. Once you drop down this hole, you'll find a body, and on that body is Radagon's saucer seal. And after this, you can just go ahead and let those rats take you down. You're going to respawn outside, and now we can start the second farming method, which you can add.
Vale.
Usually mess up, so please do pay close attention. Firstly, we're going to equip Radagon's saucer seal, which is going to boost our dexterity by 5. So from 13 to 18, which is exactly what we need to equip the flail weapon that I showed you how to get earlier.
¿Qué stats tengo yo siendo samurai? Porque tengo otros stats. Stat. Destreza 18 ya de por sí.
Yeah, and we're going to be using this for its unique bleed effect. You can use another weapon.
Ok. Ah, el destreza 15. Vale, me equipo el... Ok. Sí, no sé.
And if you like the katana, which I already have another video on how to get linked below. And if you didn't know, you can two-hand your weapon by holding down the Y button on the Xbox controller and then pressing the right-hand attack button. And then your character will hold it with 2 hands, so it does more damage. Now, if you turn around from the resting spot of Grace outside of this castle, you'll see a massive dragon lying down and sleeping right in front of you. Now, since the last video I made over 2 years ago, it's been discovered that you can actually farm this dragon repeatedly over and over again without killing it. And this is the part you don't want to mess up. So as you can see, we're going to run over and attack this dragon, and it literally does no damage. But don't worry, if we do keep attacking it, we get a chunk of bleed damage, which hits for a percentage of the enemy's health. So that's 13,000 damage, taking a big chunk of its health bar down. Now it's actually even faster with the flail weapon to trigger this bleed effect. If you just hold down the flail's special attack button, you can actually spin the flail and get multiple hits per second. This is going to end up applying that bleed effect even faster, which is obviously where all our damage is coming from against this enemy. So I'm standing just where these mushroom-like things are, and just make sure that the flail is actually hitting the hitbox of the enemy to register all those hits as much as possible. Otherwise, you'll just be wasting your stamina. And once your stamina is consumed, you can just stand there for a second, let it regenerate, and then just carry on doing this over and over. It'll take you around 3 minutes and 30 seconds to defeat the dragon, but it's very important that you don't take it down completely. As you can see, it's eventually going to get to this very low amount of health. It's going to have this much health left. And it always works out to be exactly the same amount of health, because obviously it's percentage-based damage. So you're not going to like accidentally kill it. You'll see it gets to this much health, just like on my screen. And this is where the really important part comes in. At this point, you want to mount up and stand next to the dragon, just here, and then start attacking it normally to apply that bleed effect again. And this time it's going to kill the dragon. And as soon as that bleed effect triggers, you actually see the dragon's tail flinch slightly. At this point, as soon as you see that, you're going to need to sprint back to the resting spot of grace on your horse. And you can press the left trigger or X button to dismount, and then you can just spam the Y button to rest at the resting spot as soon as possible. After you actually rest here, you then see that we've gained 50,000 runes, but the dragon, if you turn around, is still alive. And it used to be that you could only kill this dragon once, but now you can actually kill it repeatedly and farm it over and over again. And this is after the DLCs come out and after all the updates have come out. It still works. Remember though, if you don't run back to that resting place fast enough, you'll kill the dragon and it won't respawn. You don't have to be ridiculously fast, you have some leeway there, but just don't mess that part up. So anyway, I ran this rune farming spot a bunch of times, and it takes 4 minutes to do each run, which gives you 750,000 runes. So this guide starts here on the map at the first step resting spot in Limgrave, where you first start the game. Here you're going to find an NPC called White Mask Barry. The guy who calls you maidens. Now, if you're overly sensitive, a bunch of times, and it takes 4 minutes to do each run, which gives you 750,000 runes per hour. But there's actually a way to make this even faster, so don't sit here and farm it for an hour. You'll be wasting your time. So before I show you the third and final farming technique, you're going to want to get the following items. The first item can be obtained by opening the map and fast traveling back to the starting area of the first step resting spot where we started this video. Once you arrive, you're going to jump down to the left off this cliff, and then we're going to head and follow the cliff to the left here, and we're going to look off the edge of the cliff for the updraft on the beach below, and then you can just jump off this cliff onto the beach, and because of that updraft being there, as long as you land nearby, you won't take any full damage.
¡Lo hemos hecho! ¡Gente! 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 ¿Vas a comprobar qué tal lo hace con...?